What's up, Giants Nation? Another game at MetLife, another frustrating night for our beloved New York Giants. This time, they fell 17-7 to the Cincinnati Bengals, and man, this loss stings. After showing some life in recent weeks, we were all hoping for a better result, right? But let's break it down. What exactly went wrong here? Joe Burrow, the Bengals QB, ripped off a 47-yard touchdown run that no one saw coming, and the Giants' offense just couldn't get anything going. Daniel Jones threw for 205 yards, but once again, couldn't find the end zone. Meanwhile, Azeez Ojulari shined on defense, racking up sacks, but it wasn't enough. So the big question for today, what's next for the New York Giants? Is this season slipping away, or can they turn it around? We'll dive into all of that, and of course I want to hear from you. Before we get into the details, hit that subscribe button and join the mission to hit 1,000 subscribers. Let's keep this Giants community growing. Don't forget to drop a comment below with your thoughts on the game and smash that like button. Let's get into it. Alright, let's start with the moment that really set the tone for this game. The Joe Burrow run. It happened fast, didn't it? A 3rd and 18 from the Giants' 47-yard line, and instead of a typical pass play, Burrow saw an opening, took off, and ran 47 yards down the field for the touchdown. It was the longest touchdown run by a quarterback against the Giants since 1942. Fans, can we talk about the defense on this play? The entire secondary was caught looking at potential receivers, leaving Burrow a wide-open lane. Isaiah Simmons came close with a blitz, but Burrow dove into the end zone. Just like that, 7-0 Bengals. It's tough to watch moments like this because, defensively, we've been stronger this season. What do you think? Was it just a well-executed play by Burrow, or did our defense drop the ball? And this wasn't just any touchdown. It was the longest touchdown run by a Bengals QB in franchise history. Burrow had never run for more than 23 yards before this. Giants fans, how do you feel about that? Is this a one-off breakdown, or is there something more going on with our defense? Comment below if you think our secondary should have been more prepared, or if Burrow just had one of those breakout moments. Now let's talk about the man at the center of it all, Daniel Jones. Look, there's no sugarcoating it. Jones had another rough night. He completed 22 of 41 passes for 205 yards and led the Giants in rushing with 56 yards. But the biggest issue? No touchdowns. That's now multiple games this season where Jones has failed to find the end zone, and it's becoming a real problem. We've seen flashes of potential from Jones in the past, and we all want him to succeed, but is it time to start asking some tough questions? The interception he threw in the red zone was costly, and it felt like the offense just couldn't get into a rhythm. Sure, the Bengals defense played well, but for the New York Giants, this isn't the level of performance we need from our starting quarterback. So, Giants fans, where do you stand on this? Are you still confident in Daniel Jones leading this team? Or do you think it's time for a change? Let's get that conversation going in the comments. This is the hot topic right now, and we want to hear from you. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like button if you think Jones can still turn this around. Or if you're starting to have doubts, drop a comment below. If there's one thing to feel good about after this game, it's Azeez Ojulari. This guy was everywhere on defense. With Kayvon Thibodeau out, Ojulari stepped up in a big way, notching 2 sacks and causing chaos in the Bengals' backfield. He almost had a 3rd sack in the first quarter, but Burrow barely escaped. Ojulari's performance is a reminder that, despite the struggles, this Giants defense has serious talent. The pressure he applied throughout the game kept the Bengals from pulling away, and honestly, without his play, this game could have gotten ugly fast. When Thibodeau returns, can you imagine these two together? Giants fans, Ojulari might just be the future of this defense. What do you think? Is Ojulari a key piece moving forward? Drop a comment below if you're hyped about what he's bringing to this defense, and while you're there, give this video a thumbs up to show your support for Ojulari. Special teams though, man, where do we even start? With Graham Gano out, Greg Joseph came in and missed 2 crucial fourth-quarter field goals. These weren't just routine misses, they were game changers. A 47-yarder and a 54-yarder, both missed, left 6 points on the board that could have made all the difference. When your kicker struggles like that, it changes the entire game plan. And it showed when Brian Daboll hesitated to go for another long field goal later. Special teams have been a weak spot for the Giants this season, and it's frustrating because games like this come down to those small margins. You can't afford to leave points on the board in the NFL, especially when you're already trailing. So, what do you think? Should the Giants look for another kicker or stick with Joseph and hope for improvement? Let me know in the comments. If you think special teams need a major overhaul, smash that like button. Alright, Giants fans, we've gone through the highs and lows of this game. It wasn't pretty, but there were a few bright spots, like Ojulari's dominance and Tracy's first NFL touchdown. Still, the offense needs to figure things out, and fast, if we're going to turn this season around. The special teams need to get back on track too, because those missed opportunities are costing us games. But we want to hear from you. Where do you think the New York Giants go from here? Is it time to make some changes, or do we just need to be patient? Let's get the conversation started. Drop a comment with your thoughts on this game, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We're on a mission to hit 1,000 subscribers, and with your help, we can get there. Join the Big Blue family and stay up to date on all the Giants news. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Big Blue. East Rutherford, NJ. Notes and statistics from the Giants' 17-7 loss to the Cincinnati Bengals in MetLife Stadium. The Bengals' first touchdown, which seemed for much of the game that it would be their only six-pointer, was on a play not made by a Giants opponent in 82 years. On a 3rd and 18 from the Giants' 47-yard line, Cincinnati quarterback Joe Burrow dropped back to pass, saw the entire secondary engaged with potential receivers, and took off down the right side. With Isaiah Simmons, who blitzed on the play, right behind him, Burrow dove over the goal line for the score, just 3:28 into the game. The 47-yarder was the longest touchdown run by a quarterback against the Giants since November 1, 1942, when Pittsburgh's Bill Dudley scored on a 66-yard run in a 17-9 Steelers victory. Burrow's run was the longest by a quarterback against the Giants since Carolina's Cam Newton ripped off a 47-yarder in MetLife Stadium on December 20, 2015. In addition, it was the longest run, touchdown or otherwise, by an NFL quarterback since last week, when Arizona's Kyler Murray reached the end zone on a 50-yard run. That was also the first score of the game. Burrow's 47-yarder was the longest touchdown run by a Cincinnati quarterback in franchise history and more than twice as long as his previous two longest runs, a pair of 23-yarders. In his first NFL game on September 13, 2020, Burrow scored on a 23-yard run at home against the Los Angeles Chargers. He also ran for 23 yards in the 2022 season opener versus Pittsburgh. Cincinnati was the second Giants opponent to score a first-possession touchdown this season. On September 22nd, the Cleveland Browns scored a 27-yard touchdown pass from Deshaun Watson to Amari Cooper on their first offensive play. In Brian Daboll's 3 seasons as head coach, the Giants are 3-5 in regular season games and 1-1 in postseason games when their opponents score a touchdown on their first offensive series. The Giants fell to 2-4, including 0-3 at home. They last lost their first 3 home games in 2021, a season in which they finished 3-5 in MetLife Stadium. The Giants trailed at halftime, 7-0. It was their first scoreless first half since November 12, 2023, at Dallas, where they trailed 28-0 in what became a 49-17 loss. Quarterback Daniel Jones completed 22 of 41 passes for 205 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. He also led the Giants in rushing with 56 yards on 11 carries, including a team-long 13-yarder. Rookie running back Tyrone Tracy scored the Giants' only touchdown and his first in the NFL on a 1-yard run with 5:48 remaining in the third quarter. He rushed for 50 yards on 17 carries, 47 yards on 14 attempts in the second half. Tracy and wide receiver Darius Slayton each caught a team-high 6 passes for 57 yards. The Giants' longest reception was 15 yards, 2 by Wan'Dale Robinson, and 1 each by Slayton and tight end Theo Johnson. Jalen Hyatt caught his first pass of the season, a 6-yarder, but it was on a 3rd and 10, so the Giants had to punt. Linebacker Micah McFadden picked up his first fumble recovery of the season when he fell on a loose ball at the Giants' 21-yard line early in the 3rd quarter. Bobby Okereke forced the fumble by Zach Moss after a 1-yard run. In 2023, McFadden led the Giants and tied Tampa Bay's Antoine Winfield, Jr. for the NFL lead with 4 defensive fumble recoveries. Outside linebacker Azeez Ojulari made his first start of the season in place of Kayvon Thibodeau, who was placed on injured reserve yesterday after undergoing surgery on his wrist Wednesday. Ojulari sacked Burrow twice on the Bengals' last series of the first half and nearly had another sack in the first quarter. Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence each had 1 sack. Rookie safety Tyler Nubin led the Giants with 9 tackles, 5 solo. Punter Jamie Gillen was inactive after experiencing tightness in his left-kicking hamstring at the end of the practice week and missed his first game in his 3 seasons with the Giants. Gillen had played in 39 consecutive regular season games, plus 2 postseason games, the second longest streak on the team. Long snapper Casey Kreider played in his 73rd straight game Sunday night. With Gillen sidelined, Matt Hack, who was signed Saturday after trying out Friday, played in his 100th regular season game and first for the Giants. Hack, like Gillen, is a left-footed punter. He has previously played for Miami, Buffalo, Indianapolis, and Cleveland. He punted 4 times for a gross average of 46.8 yards and a net average of 43.5. With wide receiver special teamer Bryce Ford Wheaton inactive with a shoulder injury, rookie running back Dante Miller, elevated from the practice squad, replaced him as a punt team gunner and assisted on 1 tackle. Linebacker Boogie Basham had 1 assisted tackle in his season debut. The Giants' inactive players were wide receivers Malik Neighbors and Ford Wheaton, running back Devin Singletary, Gillen, guard Jake Kubas, cornerback Trey Hawkins, and quarterback Tommy DeVito, 3rd QB. The Giants are 23-34-1 on Sunday night, including 11-15 at home. They are 2-17 in their last 19 regular season primetime games. The Giants honored their 2007 and 2011 Super Bowl championship teams in a halftime ceremony. Coach Tom Coughlin, quarterback Eli Manning, defensive end Justin Tuck, wide receivers David Tyree, Mario Manningham, and Hakeem Nicks, safety Antrell Roll, tight end Kevin Boss, offensive linemen Chris Snee, Sean O'Hara, Rich Subert, Kareem McKenzie, and Kevin Booth, and linebacker defensive end Matthias Kiwanuka were among the notables in attendance.